Hello, everybody. Dark Ages by Lewis Murphy. I shivered in the hospital this morning, afraid to come out from behind the curtain. I heard the screams of zombies in the halls. And I know disability is tearing at me like a summer a year ago and a year and a half ago. No one knows disappeared in the wards. The way footsteps vanish after they are taken, unless you note specifically who you had to step on, where the atoms were that instant. They shift, then everything is obsolete. How the guard let me get away out the emergency room door after hours of waiting for a doctor, where days leapt by in a white-walled wonderland sideshow without help. Maybe I had been alone for eternity, even if only in my hallucinations. Now, out on the street, telephone lines speak, blipping antenna codes into a darkness where stars are knives to bleed me of desires, and backlit frames walk north. So that was Lewis Murphy. He's a local poet. He's in our book here that we put out that is for people that were on the show in the first 2 years of this show. And if you're wondering how long ago that was, our 10th anniversary is in February. So it's insane. So this is available for $15. All the money goes to Cracked Walnut, which is the local chapter of the League of Minnesota Poets. They bring you this show. I'm your usual host, but not tonight. Tonight, this show was put together by Bethany May, and she's also going to host tonight. So everybody, please put your hands together for Bethany May.
Thank you, Tony. I'm really excited to be here and to curate this show. I was invited on this show 3 years ago, and that's how I found out about this, and I've been kind of coming ever since. And so I wanted to pass this torch on to some women who I found really inspiring, who also help other women. So I have an all-female lineup. Some are brand new to poetry, have never performed before, and some are published authors. So we're still waiting on one person to get here. So first, I'm going to bring up my good friend Janine, but let me read her little bio first. I gotta find it. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so Janine Watkins, before I get to her bio, let me just say that she is one of the most inspiring women that I've ever met in my life. And her energy is very contagious. So this is her first time performing ever on a stage. I asked her if she'd ever perform poetry. She's like, I've never even thought about that. But I really enjoy the way that she thinks up words, and it all kind of spills out of her mouth. So I'm really excited to see what she does tonight. Here is her bio. Born and raised in California, Janine currently lives in Minnesota. How did that happen? Well, shortly after moving to New York City, she met the love of her life while working as a field engineer at New York City's LaGuardia Airport. Yes, she was a civil engineer by trade, but she was willing to trade it in to become an author, fitness instructor, and world traveler. Yes, she is smiling as she writes this because she is following her passions over pursuing a paycheck. It feels magical. Most of Janine's inspiration has come from Burning Man, her understanding of collected workspace norms, and her so far very successful world traveling expeditions. She enjoys writing speculative fiction, anything to do with warping time and diving into her inner curiosities of this universe. Gives her jellies all tingly. So please welcome Janine Watkins.
Citations, everyone. Oh, that's amazing! Oh my gosh.
I have one job.
All right, so thank you so much, Bethany, not only for believing in me, having me rewrite a rendition of a children's book that I have not yet published, although there's something about it that literally in my days of an engineer, it went from an email to a really close friend, and I knew there was something connected with it. And throughout this, I would love your participation if you would remember it, but if not, you can always hum along with it. There's a part that continues to have me recognize what it means to be a world traveler, whether it means travel to Canada, Panama, around the United States, or sometimes just be in your own space, literally your own mind, realizing that everything we see externally is our internal world. And so the part that you will hear 3 times throughout this beautiful rendition that I've turned into a poem, repeat after me. Every day I get a little bit better.
Every day a little bit better.
In every way I learn a little bit more.
In every way I learn a little bit more.
You might say you want to stay here forever.
You might say you want to stay here forever.
But it is worth it to let go and explore.
But it is worth it to let go and explore.
So when I go like this, just know that'll be the 4 lines that if you want to, you can either say it or just hum it. However it is, I know you're consciously with me. So this story actually takes place as a star who knows it is born in the wrong part of the galaxy. And so thank you for tuning in to what I've always called Sir Reginald. And by the end, you will know what most people would know him as. In a far-off time, in a galaxy untamed, a young star named Sir Reginald burned to make a name. Born in the wrong place, in a little place that's dark, he searched through the heavens, chasing for his spark. From the moment he burst with a fire in his core, he knew he was destined for something much more. But around him, the stars stood still in the night, fading and waiting without any fight. He thought to himself, through the silence he did not let out, a melody so bold in his heart he couldn't doubt. In every way I get a little bit better. In every way I learn a little bit more. You might say you want to stay here forever, but it is worth it to let go and explore. And so he moved forward, unsure of his way, leaving behind star bits too bulky to stay. And now the stars around him started stirring in their sleep as Reginald blazed past, carving paths so deep. In his wake of the universe, it began to glow. With each passing moment, his confidence would grow. Through fear that tied him, he pushed through the cold, knowing deep down inside him he was breaking a mold. Through the vastness, he flew, free in the night, when he caught a glimpse of a dazzling starlight. Lady Andromeda, radiant, fierce, and bright, her presence filled him in awe and delight. As they drew near, his soft hum filled the air, but it was a melody that was sweeter, so rich, do I dare? Reginald's hurt heart trembled and unsure in his fate. It was Lady Andromeda who knew it, and she did not hesitate. She sang with love, out loud with grace. The melody filled the entire galaxy space. In every way I get a little bit better. In every way I learn a little bit more. You might say you want to stay here forever, but it is worth it to let go and explore. That was the moment. It flared up in him. He flickered, and there was then a dismay. Knowing in that current trait of journey, she knew she was going to lead him astray. With wisdom, she spoke, softly yet firm, to hold in the lesson that both of them desired to learn. She spoke out loud. To love is to live is to flow is to give is to grow. In all these moments, we must always know their paths nearly crossed until she sped out beyond, faster than light, hurling in a distance that was so beyond. Sir Reginald couldn't believe it. He shouted her name, but she exploded so brilliantly, and nothing was the same. The universe panicked, and the stars were in dismay. Lady Andromeda's light burst and scattered away. What seemed like chaos in this wild disarray, It left Reginald heartbroken. His cosmic was arrayed. His beloved was shattered, gone in a flash. Her beauty, her light, it was all in a crash. But in the debris, a small fragment remained, a piece of her glow, uncharted, unstained. He clutched for this spark, and in that final gift, he saw that it, in his broken heart bit, that if he was in this pain, this raw moment of true, it was actually guarding him. And in forward, he now had a new point of view. Sir Reginald had this held beloved part of the speck as he soared through the darkness with absolutely no regret. He now was going to shed his burdens and let himself rise. Brighter than ever, now this new star had new skies. The universe watched in awe in their might. The two stars intertwined, yet on their own flight. Together, but apart, their destinies finally aligned. The love that has been transcending not only space and in time, now as they shine bright in a loving cosmic sea, their song remains forever as a lesson to you and me. In harmony, their voices, unlike in the singing, it was true. The chorus that they both lived in the galaxy that now we knew. In every way I get a little bit better. In every way I learn a little bit more. You might say you want to stay here forever, but it is worth it to let go and explore. Reginald's Starstream made the Milky Way, which matches the Andromeda's glow that we know today. A tale of love that is making all the stardust know that we are part of their beautiful bloom and grow. Moments that they've guided in their inner light, always seeking where their home is and never holding too tight. So thank you for those who are responsible with where you grow. Your love is truly honored, and I enjoy what you are reaping and what you sow. And for those who are like Reginald, may you dare to soar. And thank you for blazing the trails through humanity's cosmic roar. Thank you. It's a little bit different when it's a song, so thank you for coming along.
So during the break, everyone go ask Janine when she's going to publish that book and ask her how you can buy it. Okay, so I have one poet who has not shown yet, but she says that she's on her way. So moving along, I'm going to ask Ruby to come up next. And before she comes up, let me tell you a little bit about her. Ruby Blue is an educator, poet, and musician creating music out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Raised on the wild prairies of North Dakota, she developed a love for poetry and music at a young age. Oh, thank you, Tony. A published poet, her music ties elements of literature into the roots of American music. She performs regularly around the region with her band Red Eye Ruby, but can also be found as a solo act, enjoying playing for huge crowds just as much as she enjoys the intimacy of a small listening room. Channeling the soulful rock sounds of Amy Winehouse and the rhythmic roots of New Orleans, her shiny collection of original music sounds classic, yet very much of this time. Speaking openly about abusive relationships and the reality of working as a woman in the male-dominated music industry. So everyone, welcome Ruby Blue.
Thanks, Bethany, for introducing me. It's so fun having that bio read out loud because I wrote it and I've never heard it read before. It's kind of fun. I'm like, oh, that's okay, fun. So yeah, I'm Ruby Blue. Hello. I'm a poet and a musician, and I also am a K-5 music teacher. I put out a book of poetry with my last record that was very much like my deep darks. I call it The Sun, the Moon, and the Truth. And it's honestly just a chronological collection of poems that I've written since I was 16. So some of it is kind of messy and dark, and some of it is a little more cheerful and bright. And I'm just gonna read a few selections here from this book. Okay.
How much is the book?
Oh, good question. The book is $20 and it's right over at that table. If anyone is interested in purchasing at the end, you can talk to me and I have a Venmo, or we can work out those details. So I've arranged this book into a few different sections. So I'm gonna read one from the very first section. I wrote this poem when I was about 19. Misty morning. Frozen raindrops, like tiny sprightly chimes, shimmer in my ears in the balmy sun of morning. Thousands of fairies are singing me good morning. The color is the sound, and I've fallen, fast and free into the kaleidoscope of not understanding. Chaos walks through my door, and I welcome the whirlwind, the guest that strips me bare, arms open and heart aflame. In the deep stillness of the night, I feel the breath of the unknown brush against my cheek. I am the ghost, it says, and you are the lover. So I heed that ancient call. There are times when I wander breathless, unsure what I'm doing and why. Drops on still water. Ripples of energy draw circles in time. Moonflower hips grow full. A blooming planet teeming with life, resilient roots spread wide. I stay up late and watch the world swirl. Dewdrops settle in their glistening dance with the sun. And sparkling sands of time drift perfectly back to their place on the desert floor. Each step is a misstep. Each moment, an accidental journey. We grow weary and rest in the center of the fire. The circle completes its dance with the dizzying moon, full bloom. There are the things that I used to love, sweet indulgences held dear, like cigarettes and movies, gasoline fumes, and vodka so cheap when you drank it that firing squad sounds would go off in your ear. Yeah, the things that I used to love were needles and pins in the white-hot heat of the branding iron. I've come so far from the septic sting of all the things I used to be. So this is like a progression, it's like kind of like as I grow, I'm kind of writing all this stuff. I'm gonna keep going. Love held me once in the clasp of its hands. There was nowhere I moved where I did not carry you with me. And I am strong, but you were heavy. The winds of the world blew fierce in my eyes and I stumbled. My heart pumped hard in the bitter cold and the rains came to wash away the weight I could no longer carry. Yes, I will admit it, I let you fall free into the swirling water. But have I ever truly let go of love? See, lovers come and lovers go, and with each set of eyes that I find, a piece of myself settles back into place. I do not carry you with me these days because I embody your spirit when I sing. I no longer drag you by the hand to my secret nest of blankets because you've been here all along, vibrating at the same intensity as me. I do not carry you with me because you've always been a piece of me. You've lived in many parts of me and added facets to my soul. I may not see you waking like I used to or feel your breath hot and heavy on my arm. But still, you are there moving somewhere in this world, blinking and eating and hating me for leaving. But the thought of your enduring existence brings me peace. There is nothing in this world as heavy as love, and there is nothing as light as the joy that it can bring. And each day I find myself falling fast into puddles of darkness, and then I remember where I have been, and I remember each lover I have carried on my back. The universe brings me where I need to go. Guided by the light of 1,000 spirits, I move through this world with the illusion of a broken heart. I have found my place here alone, and in the midst of the stars, the pulsing moon glows. Flowing rivers of light guide me home. The messiness of life. Things are not always as they seem. the hot and sweet trickle of blood down the curve of my cheek. This one is called Kali. In the midst of nothing, you will find me swirling like the sea. I will build a menagerie. The lightning cracks and dawn's sweet facade crumbles over the tops of the ocean. Flashes of brilliance illuminate the teeming of life within. And how many days have I sat here waiting for the pieces to fall into place? And how often have I longed to close my eyes and lean backwards, trusting you to catch me when I fall? How many glasses of red wine do I need to drink before the blood of peace washes over me like a river? My body wants what it wants, and there's blood seeping from my forehead, trickling hot and sweet down the curve of my chin. Eyes illuminated with the hot heat of love, the blood runs thick down the whiteness of my skin. And how often have I found you in darkness, beauty more profound than the ragged edges of fear that shape you? Lift your head and drink in the water. Drown yourself in the teeming nectar of life. My womb will no longer save you. My being bleeds hot and sweet for the missing touch of your hands. My name is nothing, and the blood of life flows always and forever within me. I'm gonna do like 2 or 3 more maybe. Set sail on stormy seas. I suppose I have feared certain versions of myself, run from them, especially when others have hid in the shadows. I am not a pretty girl, but I made myself that way with white teeth and yoga and fake eyelashes and braces and curves and middle school yearnings. I crafted and curate myself, and as such, beauty is a choice, it's a game plan, it's an edge. Yes, it's a sword with 2 edges. One edge to cut through the muck of your eyes, and another to slice myself with. And although I am full of tiny cuts, I refuse to holster my sword. And the fucking histrionics, the intensity of feeling each trial I face numbs me. I have been tempered with the flames of this baptismal fire. I no longer cry over spilled milk. You laugh at last year's murder, or the assault you saw on the news from the previous week. Oh, the folly we catch ourselves up in, human affairs and the affairs of the heart. They bring pain and end and ruin. I must learn to observe as a bystander without throwing myself fully in. I don't really care anymore. Ruin me. I'll stand smoldering in the ashes when you're done. Numb. Alive and barely breathing as the blood drips gently down the curve of my chin. I like pain when I can command it from the edge of my sword. But when the sword is held by someone else, I run like the child I am. We get lost in the overflowing outpouring, tight knots gripping insides as we gaze into the night. I know, dear, I've been there. When the aching is more powerful than the being, shame washes over, feeling crushed by the weight of strange regard. Just go home and sleep. Connect to the fire within. Love shines bright, a star in the night. Dogs were a revelation to me. When I started living alone in the city and my landlord told me to get a pair of men's boots and put it outside the door, to keep the riffraff out. And when the doctor diagnosed me with a head full of bad brains, whiskey was the only friend that helped soothe me from those things that go bump in the night. But I remembered back to primordial man, because even the things that go bump in the night don't get past these fierce protectors. Walking hand in hand with my big dogs, a man across the street yells, "Girl, I wouldn't fuck with you with that dog." I smile a wink. And when I fall asleep naked in my queen-size bed, wondering if I locked all the doors, my heart doesn't flutter because I'm safe here alone. So lock up your doors, and come light one up and feed something raw to the big dogs, because they're the ones who really keep shit running around here, and they deserve all the love that we got. I do nothing all day, walk the dogs, pluck my ukulele like it holds the key to my heart, wander the garden till well afternoon. This is a life I've always wanted. My days are easy and my evenings are filled with music and laughter and love. I work at the Uptown Guitar Shop. It's cute here, and all my music friends walk the block to the pizza place to grab a quick slice. We feed our bustling souls, all these musicians eating pizza. I get off work late, go to shows, grab a slice of pizza on the way. It soothes me. I think pizza and guitars just go hand in hand. I am Ruby Blue. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much to Bethany Bay for curating this. And of course, big love to Janine and Bailey for reading as well. I'm excited to read that report. Thanks, everybody. Boys for sale over there. Come talk to me.
Yeah, Ruby Blue. Let me see, I'm not as good as Tony on this microphone. Whoa, no, that's really tall. But if you want to be on this show, I'm gonna do my best Tony impersonation. If you want to be on this show, find one of these.
You gotta talk louder.
Oh, sorry. I am not Tony, in case anyone realized that.
Never would have
Yeah, take one of these little business cards on your table and fill out the survey, and you too can be on this show. Everyone is welcome. I think that's it.
No audition process.
No audition. Anyone can come. Everyone is invited. Everyone's welcome. Okay, so next we have Bailey. And Bailey is someone that I just met last month. So if you were here last month, you watched her perform other people's poetry, which is really amazing. But this week, or this month, we're gonna hear Bailey perform her own poetry, which is even cooler. And she has a book over at the table. So buy Ruby's book, buy Bailey's book, and we'll all be happy with our nights.
Otherwise, we won't be.
Yeah, everyone buy all of those books, otherwise we won't be happy. Okay, so J. Bailey Hutchinson is the author of Guts, poems, selected by Patricia Smith for the 2022 Miller Williams Poetry Prize. She is a recipient of a 2023 Creative Writing Fellowship from the National Endowment for the Arts. She earned her MFA from the University of Arkansas, Fayetteville, where she served as poetry editor for the Arkansas International and assistant director of the Open Mouth Literary Center. Hutchinson's work has been featured by Ninth Letter, Beloit, Muzzle Magazine, Boat, is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
Cool, and more. She teaches creative writing workshops through a number of organizations, including the Loft Literary Center, and works as a freelance editor. She lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So give it up for Bailey Hutchinson.
Thank you. Yes, I am much shorter than all these beautiful people here tonight. Thank you so much to the Poets and Pints family and the fellow poets reading tonight for sharing space with me. It's an honor to be here. I do have a book. It looks like this. It's over there. But I'm mostly going to read new shit tonight. So, new shit. This poem is called Clown Wisdom. A fish guts, a river dams, and I holy up the dourest days as best I'm able. My racket and beam, a cry from the porch despite the sun's tall bruise on our backs. Don't come in here with that goofy shit. Oh, honey, I'm coming. 40 crows with some pebble guns couldn't keep me from rubber gumming an old apple just to watch your right cheek tweak. I've squatted on a stranger's truck. I've turned my face inside out, haggled with the jelly locomoting my bones. A good laugh is a good laugh. Isn't such a tall order when $10 keeps beans in the cabinet, only just. Listen, the river's leaving. If I had to have a baby, I wouldn't, but I fear I'd still have to. I'm as mortal as any old horsefly, it seems. But you know what my love's laugh sounds like? Starbirth. Bowling alley ginger ale. A full, surprised to find the earth, then wondered with it. Listen, I'm untelling the bad end. Thank you. Thank you so much. I usually don't read off my phone, but I didn't print these. So it is what it is. This poem is called Dog Wisdom. And it's for my dog, whose name is Izzy. It's a little bit, I don't want to summon winter right now, but I'm going to do it. Again, winter pins me in its dark belly. Again, the night's quick to name every chipped tooth, my shallowing river. Again, I sup what little light makes its way to me like an obligate blue bottle, bolted and small. Can I say the dog saves me? Her warm, her little. I don't wonder if something that has to love me really loves me. I don't. Her generous cheek, the divine appointment of each toe. She bums against my knee like I am made for her sleeping, and I am. At the window, she watches a cold, harrowed pine do nothing, gorged on daylight, stinking with peace. When I touch her leg, she hardly considers it, but she does lean a little. Oh, to watch a tree, to trust a touch entirely. When she thinks, as I am sure she thinks, I am sure it is not about death. Only the simple wind of my hand, crow sounds, dinner, snow. I love my dog so much. I also forgot to start a timer, so I'm going to do that now.
Do not worry about
Okay, thank you. I won't worry about it.
it. We will tell you.
You'll tell me to shut up when it's time to shut up. Good. Thank you again so much for being here. This is so fun. So many of these poems I have not read out loud before. So I'm glad to be around so many receptive and warm people and around such phenomenal poets. Thank you.
Shucks.
Shucks. This is a poem of mostly lies and some truth. My legs are as long as a secretary bird's. I have never hurt a turnip. I run about as fast as any truck can. My teeth are each an opal, and each opal, if planted, would rot the whole plot. I am tempted to divine every wisp of blood. I am never distracted by a dark-haired acre. My childhood home had a secret. My love has the most drunk-making lash line. My grandmother will not die today. My grandmother will not die at all. I have been drinking. I think one day a kidney will go. When I was small, I swallowed a gizzard whole and hoped it would stay. Nighttime smells like ions. I am afraid how much. I don't know whose pleats I see when I smile. I acknowledge every crow. I try to. When you breathe asleep, I am a newt in the sun of you. Bisect a catfish and you'll find me there, pimpled on the bladder. I didn't grow anything that summer in my garden, not a cucumber or tomato or frond of kale, except the one white melon whose hide was a sequence of scurf, who when I door-knocked sounded like a dent in a belfry. I held my breast and pretended it wasn't mine, the hand, the breast. I am sure I have you fooled. I am a sure fool. I clocked the buckshot that stuttered under the door. The Christmas cactus barms as much as it ever barmed. More even. Every night I transmogrify my tongue. Every fourth fillet I curse most sinister. I do not resent the children for unseating me. Always the benthos beckons, furling, bivalvular and breath struck. I'm not much for a grudge. I do not fear the ungulate, or the sea flea, or the man shape. I don't seek the imp, or the fog, or the root-bound jade. I am generous, a reader, gin-gummed and agog. I want you to hear me. I want to be heard. I think I will read 2 more poems, if that is acceptable to you all. Okay. Thank you. This next one, I think I have to find it. There it is. Is an anagrammic sonnet, which means that I used one line from another poem and just remixed those letters exclusively to make each line. And I want to write more of these, but it was so hard, so I haven't written any more yet. But anyway, you'll see what the line is by the end. Anagrammic sonnet with a line from Mary Oliver. B lush, J lol, agile deer, trail face, tits stunting in a nitty tree. I jut rude in all this going. I call a leaf Atlas, be in it. Oh, singer, tell it again. Bird the little canal Juneful, say it, a brighted joust. Call lie, a fang, initial tune, till I earn breath as you earned it. I'll jag gentle, a calf, it's intuit nil, dune, aster, use litany, high rat, Jill bite, long leaf, cattail, gin, you urge feelings, I trial at it. I ache a blind lilt, gel tin ants, all night inaudible stars join. Feel it? Icy natural glee, tattling lunar fruit. I listen to the jade beam, its easy gala. Lichen jigs all day, notice its able glint. Air all lute fat, air tune and teal. Life sluices by unregarding. At least join it. That I'll call being. I under a tree, a glint of sun, heat, the jay's tail alit. See, guilt, beating heart. Say lilac. Join tall and flutter in. Listen, are you breathing just a little and calling it a life? That's for you, Mary Oliver. You boss of all bosses. Okay. And I will leave you all tonight with the final poem in my book. I wrote this poem when I moved from the south to the north. J. Bailey Hutchinson moves 658.8 miles north and tries to make it count. It worked. Anyway. Here I go to hot-eye the road, to waller dirt like a sun-hungry centipede, because this warm licks different. What do I say about this town except it's not mine, never made me, and that's okay. To count the staples in a poll and not know them. To to smell the river unrued. Saturn, protein, the way my stepdad jaundiced in his recliner, who knows why I won't sit still. But here I go to cow your arm, tongue wide as a shoebox. I don't know who to be anymore, but I wonder the me that wine-sicked every Ozark Tuesday and Thursday and Sunday, fourth placing my mother who lives alone and is dying of it. Once, night buttered, I rode my bike down a hill and begged that something might unexist me. Here I go to get glad nothing did. The lakes, new and root sunk, remind me what I haven't held on to, and I want to ask, who told you? Who dumped all my no goods? Like you aren't what moments every water. Despite, I call up my mother. We speak good, bird fluent. She is generous. The sun over the river is bladder colored. The sun in the low mountain blanched. Here, I watch the sun with a dog-like almost, thinking, there is a woman I might be. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bailey.
I'll come. Help you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bailey size.
I will un-Bailey size it.
Okay, you make me feel so tall.
Zombie.
Are you okay?